Hey, welcome to today's show. I'm looking at all the new comics I picked up at the comic book shop today. Got a big old stack of comics, got a bunch of new issues, some dollar bin back issues as well. Haven't flipped through anything yet, so I'm really looking forward to flipping through all this stuff and just talking about all the comics I got today. So thanks again for joining me. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. Doesn't cost anything to subscribe. I do post daily comic book content, reviews, some commentary, mostly just reviews, but today I picked up only one image book. It was The Scorched, number 45. I just did a review of issue number 45 a couple days ago on my Spawn Sunday video. So go check out that review. This cover I thought was a really cool cover. It's got Haunt on it here. And I wasn't really thinking about who did this cover at first. And I was kind of looking at it and it reminded me a lot of Francisco Matina's cover work. And it turns out he's the cover artist on this book. And the reason his cover artwork stands out to me is because I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, he got accused of doing some AI artwork. So I'm kind of surprised to see him doing artwork still for Spawn comics. He had done some Spawn work previously, done some Space Ghost covers as well on that new Space Ghost series. And I was surprised to see this. Let me know, does this look AI to you? Just the way that the edges of this piece are like blurry and faded here on the sides, make it look AI to me. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think this is an AI generated cover? But we got John Layman doing the script on this, doing all the writing, a little bit of Todd McFarlane. It says additional scripts, and Steven Segovia doing the artwork on this book. He's pretty much done every issue of The Scorched, if I'm not mistaken. This is a series usually is just all battles, lots of fighting, lots of infighting between the teams. And in the previous issue, we saw this Viscerator, who's actually the sister of the Violator. She's put together this team to take out the Scorch. So it looks like we're getting a big battle between the two teams here in this issue. Looks like maybe She-Spawn putting together a new team of Scorched. There's Monolith and the Raven Spawn. There's Haunt, who's on the cover. He actually left the team a few issues ago. It looks like he might be back. His nemesis, the She-Haunt, is on the bad guys team here, so that's probably why he's back. Looks like they killed Overkill once again. That's a cool splash page of the team there. Looks like Viscerator might have laid some eggs. So Scorch number 45. This was a $3.99 comic book. I do like these Spawn books too because they all have these really nice cardstock covers, really nice glossy paper. No ads in the book either. So these are always really good reads. Scorch number 45. Then I picked up Spider-Man Noir number 1. I picked this up because Eric Larson is the writer on this. And we've got Andrea Briccardo doing the artwork here on the interiors. So Eric Larson, the Savage Dragon creator, artist, and writer. And he's done a lot of work at Marvel writing. He's written Nova, and he's done some Namor. He's done Aquaman at DC. He's written some Spider-Man as well. When he was drawing Spider-Man, he was writing Spider-Man. He's written Wolverine, so pretty tenured writing career at Marvel, not just as an artist. And his Savage Dragon book has been delayed a few months, and it seems like he's been getting a lot of work at Marvel recently, so that might be a reason why. And Spider-Man Noir, a character from the Across the Spider-Verse series, the Into the Spider-Verse Miles Morales series. And Nick Cage, of course, voices the character. And so he's getting his own comic book series here. And I think Eric Larson always did great crime stories in those like early Savage Dragon and even some of the Spider-Man stuff. So, and this is kind of his return to Spider-Man. He did just do an issue of Venom Black, White, and Blood, issue number 2 that came out last week. And I had asked my local comic shop to hold that issue for me, but I don't know if they didn't get the message or got lost in translation or what, but I wasn't able to pick that up last week. I'm still hoping they can get it to me next week, or I might have to go to eBay to find it. But so Larson's been back on Spider-Man here a lot recently. I think he not just wrote, but also drew that issue of Venom that came out last week. So this is a really cool page here, a Daily Bugle mock ad for the credits. So I'm looking forward to reading this. Let me know if you guys picked this one up, Spider-Man Noir number 1. Also, kind of Spider-Man adjacent, we got Venom number 250. So they've taken the all-new Venom series and they've just reverted back to calling it Venom here and going back to the legacy numbering, which I'm a huge fan of. It's also the return of the big bad villain Null, who was presumed dead after the King in Black, but here he is back again. Back from wherever symbiote gods go when they die. But we got Al Ewing writing here. Terry Dodson and Todd Nowak are the artists on this book, so a really awesome art team. I think this is Terry Dodson right here, and then Todd Nowak is on this opening page here, if I would not be mistaken. This has got to be Terry Dodson here. So I was looking forward to seeing what the artwork looked like in this, because those are two really great artists, in my opinion, two of my favorite current artists going. Well, Terry Dodson's been doing work. Both these guys have been doing work for decades. So, but I wanted to see what Terry Dodson's work looked like these days. I'm not sure the last time I saw a comic book from him. Here's some of Todd Nowak's stuff. It's got kind of a 90s vibe to it. Almost sort of looks like Mark Bagley sort of style. Terry Dodson's got sort of an Adam Hughes style to his work. This stuff looks kind of quick though, if I'm being honest. I do like the really dark, thick inks on both these guys' work in this book. So I've been dipping out of Venom recently, ever since it switched over to the all-new Venom. They revealed Mary Jane was the host of the Venom symbiote. She finally broke up with Paul. So I've been reading a few issues here and there of this series. But again, I'm glad to see it going back to just the regular Venom title and the legacy numbering. And I wish a lot of the other Marvel books would go back to legacy numbering as well. I don't know what Marvel's going to be doing after the X-Men Age of Revelation crossover, but I hope they take the X-Men books and revert those back to legacy numbering as well. There's Hela showing up here. Probably to mess with Null. X-Men of Apocalypse. I did a review of this book too. Go check this one out, this ad here for that book. So this is a backup story here, I think. It says the events of this story take place between issues 4 and 5 of Venom Lethal Protector 1993. So this is a flashback story here back to when Eddie Brock was Venom. And you get the classic Venom look, which I don't think can be beat. I would be a fan if they went back to that look for Venom. And this is Carlos Gomez doing the artwork on this backup story. He is the main artist on the all-new Venom series. And Charles Soule wrote this backup story. So this was a $7.99 book, Venom 250. It is a pretty thick book as well, extra large. This has got to be at least 40 pages. So Venom number 250 there. Then I picked up Deadpool Wolverine number 10. This is Ben Percy writing and Joshua Cassera back on artwork on this issue. He's on this cover here. This is an awesome looking cover. Look at all the detail and all that. That is really cool looking. You got Strife and Apocalypse half and half there. I've reviewed every single issue of this book. When it first, about half of this series, this was my favorite book at Marvel. It's dragged on a bit too long though, but you can kind of go get my thoughts on all the issues and go check out my reviews of this series. A big battle here between this mutant called Legacy and this giant hulking Wolverine. So I'm wondering if this is the final issue. It's been pretty light on Deadpool, to be honest. He's been mind controlled like pretty much every single issue. It's mostly been following Wolverine, it seems like to me. Not a whole lot of Deadpool. A lot of Strife, a lot of Apocalypse. It's pretty much following Apocalypse's story here as he's once again trying to take over the world. Spoiler alert here. Looks like he's had enough of the director of the One organization, Director Talon. I think he's gotten rid of her. So I was wondering why this series doesn't tie directly into the Age of Revelation, which technically already began, but it kind of begins officially, I guess, this week with the release of X-Men Age of Revelation Overture here, number 1, which I did pick up today as well, which I'll flip through here in a second. But I was wondering, this seemed like tailor-made to be a part of the Age of Revelation. You got Apocalypse here, who's taken over Strife's body. He's trying to take over the world, recreate a new Age of Apocalypse. So it fits right in, right? But I think this might be the last issue, so I'm flipping to the back here to see maybe what it says. Looks like there's a big giant battle between some apocalypse monster here. Some cool looking artwork. Joshua Cassera. They need to put him on one of the main titles, Spider-Man or X-Men, I think. I mean, he was already on X-Men, but still. So this says end. I think this is the final issue of this, with a kiss from Deadpool to send us off. I'll definitely have a review of this. I've reviewed every issue, so got to finish it out here. I guess they're trying to tie this in. It says Undead Deadpool number 1 and The Last Wolverine number 1, which are going to be the 2 Age of Revelation titles here. But this book was all on its own. You can kind of give it credit for that, in a sense, that it was just pretty much doing its own thing. But I'm sad to see it go, honestly. Deadpool Wolverine. And that was a $3.99 book. So we got X-Men Age of Revelation Overture number 1 here. I got a variant cover. I'm not sure who the artist is on that variant cover. Let's see, it might be this Aaron Cooder Mardi Gracia cover, perhaps. I don't see a signature on here, so I didn't look it up before the video. I apologize. But I did the review of that Age of Revelation #0 issue. And go check out my short yesterday when I was looking at the most recent issue of X-Men, where we see Cyclops enter the Age of Revelation, and here he is. Pretty similar to what they did in the Days of Future Past X-Men movie, kind of where Wolverine's consciousness is like transferred into the consciousness of himself in another timeline, is essentially kind of what they're doing here with Cyclops. And it seems like Cyclops is going to be like the main character of this, so I like that too. I like that it's not going to be Wolverine being the main character. These are, I think this is Ryan Stegman doing the artwork on some of these pages. Let me see who the artist is. Let me flip back here. Yeah, Ryan Stegman's the penciler, Jed McKay's the writer, J.P. Mayer's the inker, Edgar Delgado doing the colors. So let me know what you think in the comments about the Age of Revelation. Is this anything you're going to be picking up? There's like 16 different titles. I'm certainly not going to be buying all of them, although I might be buying a couple of them. If this issue's any good, I do like the artwork. I'm a big fan of Ryan Stegman. He's been doing a great job on the main X-Men title. I don't know about Magneto's feathered cape here. I guess we'll have to see what that's all about. I like that Glob and Zorn here are getting some page time. Something catastrophic is happening there at the end. So X-Men Age of Revelation Overture #1. Definitely going to review this soon. Stay tuned for that. Then I got Ultimate Wolverine #10. This was a $4.99 book. I got the Tron Ares variant cover here. That new Tron movie looks pretty awesome. I love the Nine Inch Nails soundtrack to it. I'm not a huge Tron fan or anything, but I do love picking up the variant covers on the Ultimate books because you get the main cover on the interior cover there, so you get two pieces of art. And this Wolverine book, this Ultimate Wolverine book, is pretty much the X-Men book of the Ultimate Universe, the X-Men team that you're familiar with. Let's see who the artist is here. It's Alex Linz. He did a couple issues, a few issues back of this as well. Chris Condon is the writer on this. See, here's like the X-Men team pretty much. Along with Natasha and Red Guardian, because they are in Russia. But it looks like we got Iceman and is that Marrow maybe, and Gambit, Shadowcat. Looks like they're finally throwing down with Omega Red and the Russian authority here. Colossus is in charge, as you can see. It's a little reference to the Ultimate X-Men book. Ultimate Wolverine #10. This was a $4.99 book. I'll move on to the DC books I picked up today. I got Absolute Evil #1. This one kind of snuck up on me. Didn't realize this was coming out today. I've heard some people talking about it though. I've heard some good things about it already. I haven't flipped through it or read it yet. But I already have kind of been spoiled just from being in the comic shop and hearing some people talking about it and seeing a couple things on Twitter. I won't spoil it for you, except for what you see here in the video, which you can decipher off of me flipping the pages here. But this is supposed to be all the, obviously from the title, Absolute Evil, all the bad guys kind of coming together here. Here's the, I guess the circle of evil, the round table here. But Ra's al Ghul is here, it looks like. But all the ultimate, absolute Marvel DC, it's all the same. All the absolute books, though, they've been pretty separate up to this point. Not a whole lot of crossover. None of the heroes have really crossed over with each other. I think they might have done a crossover in the Free Comic Book Day absolute issue, if I remember correctly, but there really hasn't been. The villains have not crossed over. The storylines have really not crossed over at all. So I think this issue is finally bringing it all together. So I think that this is Brainiac here. He seems to be essentially pulling all the strings. But I'm sure there's a Game of Thrones going on here. We got the Hall of Justice here. The first reference of a Justice League. Absolute Justice is the name of this issue here. So, looking forward to reading this. Let me know what you guys think. Here's the final page. This is Lex Luthor speaking. So we get Lex Luthor for the first time here. Batman Hush 2, Batman number 162. We get an ad for this at the end. Okay, so I have a question. Let me know what you guys think about all this. I really haven't talked about this at all. And I'm a little confused. As a comic book reader, I don't really remember anything like this ever happening. So we've got Batman, and right here at the end of this Batman run, Jeff Loeb is writing. We got Jim Lee, Scott Williams coming back to do the artwork. We've got the numbering here. They're at number 162. It's been delayed a few months, so we finally got this issue coming out. But in the meantime, they've released a new Batman series. They've renumbered it back to Batman number 1. And I've got issue number 2 here. So while starting a new series called Batman, renumbering it back to number 1, we've still got issues coming out for another Batman, Batman 162. But I guess they're subtitling it Hush 2. And I'm assuming that this Batman run is over once these Hush 2 issues finally get released. Very odd that they are doing it this way. I would have thought they would have waited until Jim Lee's run was over before, debuting the Matt Fraction, Jorge Jimenez Batman book. But here we are already 2 issues in, and Batman Hush 2 has not even ended yet. So now Matt Fraction, I've heard him talk about this book a little bit, how each issue is going to be like self-contained issues. I'm sure there's going to be some overarching plots, but each issue is going to be pretty much self-contained, which is the kind of writing that I really like. I do prefer that style. That's the kind of stuff that Eric Larson does, and I'm expecting that from Spider-Man Noir. Although this being a mini-series, I expect there being less self-contained issues, but I do expect to get my fill of an issue and not feel like I've been gypped out of a story kind of halfway through at the end of an issue with an Eric Larson book. But I feel like we're getting that so far with the Matt Fraction, at least one issue in. I guess it's kind of hard to tell. It wasn't a blow-away issue or anything, but it was a very solid comic book, and I really liked the artwork. So the story was really simple to follow, easy to read. So far so good with this Batman series. I'm going to be collecting. I've already collected, obviously, issue 2, so we'll see how this goes. I'm probably going to be sticking around for a few more issues at least. I've talked about it before. Never collected lots of Batman comics. I usually come in for the big, crossover, the big events and stuff like that. I have like pretty much every issue of the Nightfall series of Batman. Obviously trades of all the big ones like Last Halloween and The Dark Knight Returns and stuff, but Batman, I'm becoming a much bigger Batman fan recently. I've started collecting a lot more Batman comic books. We've got the Justice League, the Omega Act here. This looks like a preview of an upcoming special here. Looks like the return of Doomsday. I did pick up the Jim Lee variant cover here for this issue, Batman number 2. And this is the main cover here by Jorge Jimenez. Really like the colors on this book. I like the logo too. I love this Batman logo. I think it's the best Batman logo that they've had ever. So this was a $5.99 book with the cardstock variant covers, $4.99 normally. Then I picked up some dollar issues here. So I'm going to flip through these a little bit. If you stuck around this far, thanks again for watching. You are the true believers. So I picked up this Superman Man of Steel number 22 here. I already have this issue. It's right after the death of Superman, and they're trying to make Steel a thing here. He's even playing basketball. I mean, he's got all the Shaq characteristics down. Shaq, who eventually played him in the movie. So, but I picked this up because I know that these issues have a poster in the middle, like this one does here. So, since I already have the issue and I've got the poster, I thought I'd take this poster out right here, right now. So let's get this out. Let's see if I can do this. Boom. Man of Steel. Here we go. This is John Bogdanov doing this artwork here. He's the artist on the interiors as well. So yeah, I'm gonna hang this up on my wall. And I'm going to go try to find these other Superman issues that have this very cool cover. I love this cover here as well. They did this on all the Superman titles during this month that had the Superman logo cut out here. So yeah, Superman Man of Steel, number 22. Then I picked up Ecstatics, number 3. And Mike Allred's the artist on these books. I've got a whole bunch of issues. This was one I didn't have. Also, they've got the Excellent was a spin-off that came out recently with the same creative team that did Ecstatics here. Ecstatics was actually X-Force originally, and I think they wanted to stop giving Rob Liefeld, who was the creator of X-Force, royalties. Because every time they print an X-Force comic, or a Cable comic, or a Deadpool comic, Rob Liefeld gets royalties. He's talked about it a lot on his podcast. He's kind of one of the few creators who have that built into his Marvel, his legacy contract, or however you want to word it. But Peter Milligan is the writer here. Mike Allred is the artist. They're the team, I think, on every single issue of Ecstatics. But kind of a tongue-in-cheek X-Men book, sort of making fun of the entire genre, but some pretty good stories in here usually, and they usually deal with some pretty kind of controversial subject matter, some things you wouldn't necessarily find in a typical Marvel book. So I really love these Ecstatics issues and all the Mike Allred X adjacent stuff that's come out in the recent years. Then I picked up X-Force number 27. Got Greg Capullo on the cover here. Really like this cover a lot. I love this design on Sunspot. One of my favorite character designs. And like what's happening to Cannonball there. That looks cool. We got Moonstar's silhouette here in the background. We got Matt Broom doing the interiors on this book, though. So this was just an issue I didn't have. I've got all the issues leading up to this, pretty much, and a whole bunch after. So, but this, we got a fill-in artist here, so maybe kind of a fill-in issue. But this is kind of the emergence of Dani Moonstar as a villain here, as you see her look here. Got the MLF, the Mutant Liberation front in these pages here. There's the team, Cable with the team. And Rainfire as well has just shown up in this X-Force around this time. And he's got some history with, he is Sunspot. He's like a different version of Sunspot. So kind of, I guess, similar to Dani Moonstar. They're just trying to turn some of the good guys bad here in this X-Force title at this point. And Shatterstar battling Reaper. There's a Reaper in the Scorched as well. There's a member of the Scorched named Reaper. Just like there's a member of the MLF named Reaper. There he is right there, Reaper. I guess it's a fair use title. Pretty generic name, right? Reaper. I picked up the preview books as well. New Marvel previews. Ultimate Endgame #1. I'm interested in this coming out. I like that they were using the Endgame like movie logos on all the ads for that. That looks really cool. I kind of liked that. And DCKO as well. There's a big tournament between all the DC characters. Fill out your brackets now. Then I picked up the Chip Zdarsky comic news. I thought this was just kind of funny. A meta cover here. It says, "No more rain in Gotham. Matt Fraction brings the Dark Knight into a brand new day, even though he was already being written perfectly well, in my humble opinion, in Batman." Because Chip Zdarsky, the former Batman writer, he's been replaced by Matt Fraction, but having some, poking some friendly fun at Matt Fraction here as he's being doused in water there. Thought this was kind of funny, but it's got some previews. Here's the Ultimate Endgame ad I was just talking about as well. If you haven't seen it, this is pretty cool. It looks like the Endgame movie ad, obviously, but it's got the Ultimate characters in here. Looks like we get an interview with Chip and Matt, or Chip interviewing Matt. So if you check this out at your local comic book shop, I'd recommend picking it up. It looks like it's got some pretty interesting stuff in here. Some pretty funny stuff, talking about all the writers of Batman. So, interviewing James Tynion the Fourth as well. We get an interview here with Jim Zub talking about Conan the Barbarian. So yeah, Chip Zdarsky, comic news, and then I also got the comic shop news for this week. Love this Youngblood cover, the brand new Youngblood #1 coming out next week, I guess. I actually already have it. I bought it off of Rob's website, so. But there's a whole ton of variant covers, obviously. I got the Mark Spears variant cover here. This looks actually really cool. That Mark Spears variant of Youngblood. Looks like a painted version of Youngblood, almost like an Alex Ross doing Youngblood or something. Very cool. I always like comic shop news. You just get some good previews of all the upcoming books here. And sometimes you get interviews, and it's kind of like a modern day mini Wizard magazine. So, comic shop news, Chip Zdarsky news, preview books, all the dollar books I picked up. Thanks again for watching, you guys. Let me know what you guys picked up this week. Is there anything here you want to see me review right away? Let me know, and I'll put that at the top of the list. Stay tuned for my Age of Apocalypse review. I am reviewing all of the original Age of Apocalypse comics, and Factor X issues 3 and 4 is what I'm going to be doing next, along with all of these new comic books. Gosh, I have tons of stuff to read. I've got a couple weeks worth of videos here, it looks like. So thanks again for watching. Once again, please subscribe, and you guys have a great day. I'll see you guys on the next one. Go read comics. Go read comics. Go read comics. Go read comics.